The door slammed shut with a finality that echoed through the cold, damp basement, the lock clicking into place like a death sentence. I pounded on the thick metal, my fists aching, but the only response was the faint laughter from above. Ethan Harlow's voice, mocking me. "You should have known better than to cross me, Alex," he called down, and in that moment, I realized my plan to sabotage his company had backfired spectacularly, leaving me trapped in the lair of the one man who could ruin everything I'd built. My name is Alex Rivera, and until that night, I was the golden boy of Silicon Valley's cutthroat tech scene. At 32, I'd clawed my way up from a modest upbringing in suburban Chicago to founding RivTech, a startup specializing in AI-driven cybersecurity that was on the verge of a billion-dollar IPO. Ethan Harlow, on the other hand, was my nemesis, the CEO of Harlow Innovations, a rival firm that had been undercutting my deals for years. He was 35, sharp as a blade, with a reputation for being as ruthless in boardrooms as he was charming at galas. We'd clashed publicly at conferences, traded barbs in industry articles, but privately, I'd been plotting his downfall. I knew his company was hiding vulnerabilities in their software, flaws that could expose client data. If I leaked that anonymously, RivTech would soar while Harlow crumbled. But somehow he'd found out. And now, here I was, in the basement of his sprawling estate in the hills outside San Francisco, the air thick with the scent of concrete and regret. I paced the dimly lit space, my phone confiscated, no windows to signal for help. The basement was surprisingly furnished. A worn couch, a mini fridge stocked with water and energy bars, even a small bathroom in the corner. It wasn't a dungeon. It was a holding cell for someone he wanted to break psychologically, not physically. Hours ticked by, or what felt like hours. My watch said it had only been 2. I replayed the evening in my mind. The gala at the Moscone Center, where we'd both been schmoozing investors. I'd slipped away to his office downtown, using a hacked keycard to access his files. But security cameras I hadn't accounted for caught me. Ethan confronted me in the parking garage, his eyes blazing with fury. "You think you can steal from me?" he'd snarled, before his driver subdued me with a chokehold. Waking up here, bound at first but now free to roam the confined space, I felt a mix of rage and fear. What was his endgame? Blackmail? Lawsuit? Or something worse? As the night wore on, the hatch above creaked open, and Ethan descended the stairs, carrying a tray with coffee and sandwiches. He set it down on a rickety table, his expression unreadable, cool, collected, with that signature jawline and piercing blue eyes that had graced Forbes covers. "Eat," he said flatly. "We're going to talk." I glared at him, refusing to touch the food. "Talk? You kidnapped me, you psychopath. This is illegal." He chuckled, leaning against the wall. "Kidnapped? You broke into my office, Alex. I have footage. This is just detainment until you explain yourself." His voice was calm, but there was an undercurrent of something deeper. Hurt. Maybe? No, that couldn't be. We'd been enemies for too long. We sat in tense silence at first, but as the coffee's aroma filled the air, I caved. Hunger won out.
Fine I mattered, grabbing a sandwich.
"What do you want to know?" Ethan pulled up a chair, his posture relaxed but his gaze intense. "Why me? Why target Harlow? We've been competing fair and square." I scoffed. "Fair? You poached my lead engineer last year, undercut my bids on 3 major contracts." He nodded slowly. "Business is war. But sabotage? That's personal." His words hit harder than expected. Personal. Was it? I'd always told myself it was just strategy. But deep down, Ethan's success gnawed at me. He was everything I aspired to be, openly confident, unapologetic. Me? I hid parts of myself. My family back in Chicago, devout Catholics, had no idea I was gay. I dated women publicly to keep up appearances, buried my truths under layers of ambition. Ethan, rumor had it, was out and proud, though he kept his personal life private. Envy, perhaps, fueled my vendetta. As we talked, the conversation shifted unexpectedly. Ethan shared bits of his past. Growing up in a small Texas town, disowned by his parents at 18 when he came out. They said I was an abomination, he said quietly, staring at the floor. Built my empire to prove them wrong. I felt a pang. My own parents would react the same if they knew. Why tell me this? I asked. He shrugged. Maybe because you're the only one who's ever gotten this close to taking me down. Respect in a twisted way. The air grew heavier, charged with unspoken tensions. By dawn, when he left to handle business, I was left reeling. This wasn't the monster I'd imagined. He was human, flawed, just like me. Days blurred. Wait, no, it was only the first full day, but isolation warped time. Ethan visited twice more, each time probing deeper. He untied my hands fully, trusting I wouldn't attack. You're not going anywhere, he said. Cops are involved now, but I'm stalling. Lies? Truth? Couldn't tell. In our talks, I confessed more than planned, about the pressure from my board to dominate the market, the loneliness of leading a double life. You think you're the only one? Ethan replied one evening, his voice softening. I hide too. Relationships? Fleeting. Trust? Non-existent after what my family did. Our eyes met, and for a split second something sparked. Vulnerability, attraction?
No. Impossible.
He was the enemy. But as night fell again, doubt crept in. Why hadn't he turned me in yet? Was this some game? I searched the basement for escapes, finding none, but discovered a hidden drawer with old photos. Ethan as a teen, smiling with a boy, both in prom tuxes. A first love, perhaps. It humanized him further. When he returned, I confronted him. Why keep me here? Just call the police. He hesitated, then sighed. Because I see myself in you, Alex. The anger, the drive, it's a mask for pain. And honestly, I don't want to destroy you. His words hung in the air, electric. For the first time, I saw him not as a rival, but as a man who'd suffered, just like me. The basement felt smaller, the tension thicker. What was happening? The second day dawned with a sliver of light from a high vent I hadn't noticed before, mocking my captivity. Ethan brought breakfast, scrambled eggs, toast, fresh orange juice, as if this were a bizarre bed and breakfast rather than a prison. Sleep well? He asked, sarcasm lacing his tone. I shot him a glare, like a baby in a cage. He laughed, a genuine sound that echoed off the walls, and for a moment, the hostility cracked. We ate in relative peace, the conversation flowing easier than before. He asked about my childhood, and I found myself opening up about my parents' expectations. Dad, a factory worker, pushing me to be a man. Mom praying nightly for my success. They think I'm dating that actress from the tabloids, I admitted. Cover story. Ethan's eyes narrowed. Why hide? It's 2026. Alex. Society's changed. I shook my head. Not in my world. Investors, family, they'd bail. He leaned back, crossing his arms. My investors know. Didn't stop the funding rounds. There was pride in his voice, but also loneliness. As we delved deeper, he revealed more. His disownment wasn't just words. His father had beaten him the night he came out, leaving scars both physical and emotional. I ran to California with nothing, he said. Built Harlow from a garage. Like the myths. I felt a reluctant admiration. My own coming out? Non-existent. I'd had flings in college, but buried them deep. One night stands in anonymous bars, always careful. You're brave, I muttered. He raised an eyebrow. Or stupid. Cost me everything but my dignity. The afternoon brought a shift. Ethan suggested a truce game, chess of all things. He pulled out a board from a shelf and we played for hours. Each move mirrored our rivalry. Aggressive openings, calculated risks. You're good, he conceded after I checkmated him. But impulsive. As pieces fell, so did barriers. He confessed to admiring Rivteka's innovations. Your AI, Algo? Genius. I tried to replicate it. Flattery? Or truth? I countered with my grievances. How his aggressive marketing had tanked my stock twice. It's survival, he said. But maybe collaboration. The idea hung, absurd yet tempting. By evening, isolation amplified emotions. Alone again, I paced, thoughts swirling. Ethan's visits were the only human contact, and strangely, I anticipated them. When he returned with dinner, steak, surprisingly well cooked, I probed his motives. Why not let me go? You've got the upper hand. He set the plates down, his face serious. Because if I do, you'll destroy me. And I don't want that fight anymore. His hand brushed mine accidentally as he passed a fork, sending a jolt through me. Attraction? No, stress-induced delusion. But his eyes lingered, and the air thickened with unspoken words. The night deepened our talks. Ethan shared a betrayal from his past. A former partner who sold company secrets after their breakup. Taught me not to mix business and pleasure, he said bitterly. I nodded, relating too well. My last relationship was a closeted exec who ghosted when rumors swirled. We're both damaged goods, I joked weakly. He didn't laugh. Maybe, but damage can heal. The vulnerability in his voice cracked something in me. For the first time, I saw a potential alliance, not enmity. But doubt resurfaced at midnight. Rifling through the drawer again, I found letters, hate mail from his family postmarked years ago. Faggot. One read. It hit home. My own internalized shame mirrored it. When Ethan caught me reading, anger flashed. That's private, he snapped. We argued fiercely, voices rising. You lock me up but expect privacy? I yelled. He grabbed my shoulders, not violently, but intensely. I'm trying to show you we're alike. The proximity was electric, breaths mingling. He released me abruptly, storming upstairs. Left alone, regret washed over me. Had I pushed too far? Morning of day 3, wait, no, still day 2 blending into 3. Ethan returned subdued, apologizing. I overreacted. We talked reconciliation, but tension simmered. He revealed his plan. Hold me until I signed a non-disclosure. Then release with a warning. No charges if you back off. Relief mixed with disappointment. End of this strange interlude? As we discussed terms, personal bled in. What if we partnered? He mused. Combine forces. The idea thrilled and terrified. But family pressure loomed in my mind. Dad's voice echoing, real men don't back down. The day's end brought a confession. Over wine he'd smuggled down, Ethan admitted attraction. From the first conference, I noticed you, not just as a rival. My heart raced. Me? I'm straight to the world. He smiled sadly. Aren't we all hiding? The words hung, a bridge forming. But I pulled back, fear gripping. What would this cost? The third day hit like a storm. The basement's chill seeping deeper into my bones as reality crashed in. Ethan's visits grew more frequent, but laced with urgency. He mentioned lawyers upstairs, prepping documents. Sign and you're free, he said, sliding a contract across the table. It outlined a ceasefire. No sabotage, shared patents on overlapping tech. Logical, but my pride rebelled. You think I'll just roll over? I retorted. He sighed, rubbing his temples. This isn't about winning, Alex. It's about surviving. His eyes held mine, pleading almost, and I felt the pull stronger, the magnetic draw I denied. As we negotiated, layers peeled back. Ethan opened up about societal backlash, death threats after a Pride event sponsorship, board members quitting over his lifestyle. They say it's bad for business, he said. I shared my own fears. My sister's wedding last year, where I brought a fake date to avoid questions. Mom keeps asking about grandkids. The shared pain bonded us, but also highlighted divides. He was out, fighting. I was hidden, conceding. Midday, a call from above interrupted. His assistant, frantic about a leak. Ethan's face paled. What? He dashed up, leaving the hatch ajar. Opportunity? I crept to the stairs, heart pounding, but hesitated. Eavesdropping, I heard. Rivteka's board is panicking. Alex missing, rumors of foul play. My absence was noticed. Ethan returned, furious. Your people are spinning this against me. We clashed again, accusations flying. You did this, I shouted. No, you started it, he countered. In the heat, he pinned me against the wall, not aggression but desperation. Why can't you see I'm protecting us both? Our faces inches apart, breaths ragged. The tension snapped. Kissed him, impulsive, raw. He responded fiercely, then pulled away. We can't, he whispered. Not like this. The moment shattered barriers, but guilt flooded. What was I doing? Betraying my company, myself? Alone again, I wrestled inner demons, desire versus duty. Family expectations loomed. Dad's disapproval if he knew. Society's judgment. But Ethan's touch lingered, awakening buried longings. Evening brought confrontation. Ethan descended, composed. That kiss. Mistake. I shook my head.
No.
But complicated. We talked ethics. Was our rivalry masking attraction? He admitted scouting me not just for business but personally. I poached your engineer to get your attention. Betrayal stung. You manipulated? Hurt flashed in his eyes. No more than you sabotaging. The argument escalated, voices echoing. You're no better than your family. I spat. He flinched, storming out. Night fell heavy. Reflection hit. My actions stemmed from self-hate, projecting onto him. When he returned at dawn, day for now, he looked wrecked. I called off the lawyers. Doors unlocked. Freedom? But I didn't move. Why? He sat beside me. Because forcing you changes nothing. Choose. The choice tore me. Stay, explore this. Leave, resume war. Pressure mounted. Phone returned. Messages flooded. Board demanding updates. Family worried. Mom's text. Where are you, son? Praying for you. Guilt twisted. As we talked, intimacy grew, not physical but emotional. Ethan shared dreams of a life beyond rivalry, perhaps partnership in all senses. We could change the industry. Together. Tempting but risks. Outing myself, losing family support. Dad's voice in my head. Men don't love men. High noon brought crisis. A knock above. Police? No, my VP tracing my phone. Ethan panicked. Hide. But I stepped up. No more hiding. Confrontation loomed. Chaos erupted as my VP, Sarah, burst in upstairs, her voice sharp. Alex? We've been searching everywhere. Ethan froze on the stairs, me behind him. It's not what it looks like, he stammered. Sarah's eyes widened at the scene. Kidnapping? I'll call the cops. I intervened, heart racing.
No, Sarah.
Complicated. We moved to the living room, sunlight blinding after days below. Explanations tumbled. My break-in, Ethan's detainment. Our talks. Sarah listened, skeptical. This sounds insane. Board wants you back now. The revelation forced decisions. I confessed to Sarah about the sabotage attempt, her shock palpable. You could have tanked us all. Ethan defended me. He didn't go through. Tensions rose as she grilled him. You're both idiots. But beneath I saw opportunity. What if we merged? I proposed. Sarah paused. Possible. But personal entanglements. She eyed us knowingly. Post-confrontation, Ethan and I talked privately. This could work, he said, hope flickering. But doubt gnawed. Coming out? Family? I called Mom, voice trembling. There's something I need to tell you. Her response. Silence, then tears. Alex, no. Think of your father. Heartbreak. Dad refused to speak. Society's weight pressed. News leaked. Tabloids spun. Tech titans' secret tryst. Investors pulled from both companies. Ethan's board rebelled. Your lifestyle's a liability, they said. He fought back, but damage done. Betrayal deepened. A leaked email from Ethan's past lover, exposing vulnerabilities. He used me, it claimed. I confronted him. True. He admitted partial truth. Old wounds. Trust shattered. You manipulated me too? Argument peaked, words like daggers. I thought we had something real. I yelled. He grabbed my arm. We do. But fear makes us monsters. Damage control ensued. I returned to Rivtech, facing scrutiny. Board meeting. Resign or we sue. I refused, fighting for merger. Ethan did the same. But personal toll mounted, sleepless nights, therapy sessions unspoken. A turning point, Ethan's olive branch, a public statement supporting LGBTQ rights in tech, naming me as ally. Risky, but it shifted narrative. Support poured in, backlash too. My family fractured, sister supportive, parents distant. High drama climaxed at a joint press conference. Flanked by Ethan, I came out. I'm gay and proud. Cameras flashed, world spun. Ethan's hand squeezed mine subtly. But afterward, threats arrived, hate mail mirroring his past. The cost: lost contracts, strained friendships. But gains: authenticity, budding love. Yet questions lingered, was it worth it? In the aftermath, life reordered itself in jagged pieces. The merger pushed through amid controversy, birthing Riv Harlow Tech, a powerhouse, but scarred by the birth. Investors returned warily, stock soared, but personal battles raged. Ethan and I navigated our relationship cautiously, dates in private at first, then public, each step a defiance against lingering prejudices. We're trailblazers, he said one night over dinner in his now familiar estate. The basement a distant memory turned joke, but the humor masked pain. My father's silence cut deep, monthly calls unanswered. Society's undercurrents surged. Protests at our offices, conservative groups decrying agenda pushing. Ethan faced renewed family estrangement. A cousin reached out, only to condemn. You're dragging us down. My own awakening brought therapy, unpacking years of repression. You sacrificed for love, my therapist noted. But was it sacrifice or selfishness? Colleagues whispered. Some left. Yet allies emerged, young engineers inspired, forming support groups. Conflicts peaked in a boardroom showdown. A dissenting investor accused us of favoritism. This romance clouds judgment. Ethan stood firm. Our personal lives don't dictate business. I backed him, but inside doubt festered. Had I traded stability for chaos? A betrayal surfaced. Sarah, my trusted VP, leaked merger details to competitors, fearing instability. I did it for the company, she confessed when confronted. Fired, but the wound stung, trust broken again. As months passed, growth came. Ethan proposed therapy together. We delved into traumas, forging stronger bonds. Public appearances normalized us, interviews on resilience, pride events hand in hand. But costs accumulated. Ethan's health faltered under stress. A hospital scare from exhaustion. Worth it for you, he whispered in recovery. My family thawed slightly. Mom visited, awkward hugs, Dad's letter, trying to understand. The narrative culminated in reflection. We traded enmity for alliance, rivalry for romance, but at what price? Lives upended, hearts mended yet marked. In quiet moments, doubts whispered. Right path? Was destroying the walls we built around ourselves the ultimate betrayal, or the only path to true freedom?